Okay. The Minotaur, serial killers, murders, ghosts, werewolves, vampires, horror, fear, catharsis. When I was 6 years old, I went into a school trip. We went to Estepa, a beautiful beach by the east side of our country. I was really happy. I was finally able to be alone without my parents, with my friends, and I wanted to enjoy myself. I decided that that day was the day I was going to become a pirate. Now, I have always loved these stories about pirates, brave people who adventure into the sea in order to seek for treasures, and I wanted to be one of them. At the end, the teachers only found out I was gone when my classmates started yelling, screaming in fear as a little tiny girl, 20 meters into the sea, was drowning. I almost died that day. The teachers finally were able to rescue me. But that fear, that trauma, stayed with me for a very, very, very long time. And it wasn't only until I started writing about horror stories, about monsters, that I was finally able to overcome them. Now, we as humans have a fun tendency of keeping some things in our subconscious. It's a way we can cope with terrible experience, as what happened is just way too much for our brains and for ourselves to handle. This is where creating monsters starts helping us out, because by creating these monsters, we give them a physical form. We decide if they are gigantic or if they are little. We decide if they look like animals or if they look like humans. For my personal case, I decided that I was going to write about a monster, big, gigantic, that would hide in the waves and that will come out only to chase and to eat little girls. Now, this is a little drawing of that monster. So now, I had finally a way, a physical form of expressing myself and my fears. Now, I needed to give it a name. Naming is something really important for us, humans. Naming is the way we can describe something. We can make it real. So I decided to give it the name of Oculus. Now I had 5 letters, one word, in order to describe that fear, that helplessness, that anxious feeling that I had when I was drowning. Now I had just one word with which I could describe myself. That word validated my fears. They made them real and they told me, it's okay. There's a word to describe how you feel. And that is the first step into healing. Now finally, my favorite part about writing about monsters is that we do not only write about those monsters, but we can write stories about heroes. Heroes strong enough, powerful enough to defeat those fears, even if we cannot defeat them ourselves in the real life. I decided to write stories about those pirates that I had always loved. Those pirates that I had always wanted to be with. And these pirates will come into the sea with this gigantic ship, and they will destroy the monster, even if I was not able to destroy it myself. Now, not everybody has trauma, but we all have fears. And these fears often rule our life. And maybe we don't even want to talk about them, want to think about them. We just let them rot in our subconscious, without noticing that by doing so, we let them rot us. So I just want you to invite to write about these monsters, to give them a physical form, to give them a name, but most importantly, to give them a hero who can defeat them. Thank you very much.
An active social life.